Forensic entomology. Can bugs catch killers? The answer is yes. Bugs are actually very useful in solving murders. Insects can help forensic investigators establish a time of death. If the body is less than a month old, they can use the life cycle of critters found in the corpse. For example, blowflies have very distinct life stages. I've recreated a diagram made by the Cleveland Museum of Natural History to help explain the process. Within the first 23 hours of something dying, adult blowflies will lay eggs on a fresh corpse of which hatches into the first stage maggots or larvae. In the next 27 hours, the larvae transform into stage 2 maggots. 22 more hours pass and the maggots have graduated to level 3 maggots. Then in 130 hours, the maggots will begin the pupae stage, which means they will build a hard shell around themselves and turn into flies within 143 hours. Examiners can then identify the stage of the oldest flies in order to figure out how long the body has been there. Like if there are pupae on or near the body, it's probably around 130 hours old. If the body has been there for longer than a month, investigators examine the types of bugs in the bodies. Bodies actually decay in stages. First they are fresh, then they putrefy, ferment, go through dry decay, and finally, they skeletonize. Necrophagous bugs, also known as carrion feeders, come first. Among these are the blowflies, who are attracted by the body's gases and fluids. The acidic tissues of the fresh corpse cannot be digested by the blowflies. Next comes the flesh and the houseflies for the putrefaction of the body. The moths and beetles are also drawn to the liquefying body fat. At 3 to 6 months, the body starts the protein breakdown. The dry decaying bodies attract cheese skippers and coffin flies. Once the body is too dry for the flies, hide, ham, and carcass beetles use their chewing mouthpieces to eat away at the body. Then comes the moths and the mites to eat away the hair before the body begins to skeletonize. Meanwhile, the bugs that feed on carrion feeders comes. This includes rove beetles. Bugs can also identify the location of a death. If a body was found indoors but there's an unusual amount of bugs on it, then it could suggest the body was moved. So could a disruption in the bug life cycle. Certain types of bugs live in certain places as well. For example, if Chilopidae, which are flies that are only found on beaches, are found in a body in Kansas, that would raise some suspicions. Bugs can identify the cause of death as well. If a mass of maggots are found in an area of the body where an orifice such as a mouth or a nose isn't, then it could suggest defensive wounds or identify where an injury occurred. Even if bodies have decomposed or there is some reason that they can't be tested, bugs that fed off the corpses can still be tested for poisons or other drugs and chemicals. However, there are limitations to forensic entomology. Temperatures of the area where the body is can impact the accuracy. Hot conditions can speed up the life cycles and bug stages, and cold conditions can slow it down. Also, generally you can't use entomologic evidence in the winter because there are no bugs around. So, can bugs catch killers? The answer is yes. They can find the time of death, the location of death, and they can help establish the cause of death.